Hello guys, it's me Butterfly Spirit 314. So guys, in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm basically just going to jump right in here. And I'm going to talk about my pole dance experience that I had in my class on Wednesday. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then I will talk about my plans after that because I have a lot of things coming up that I'm going to be taking advantage of and stuff. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. So on Wednesday, um, I luckily was able to take advantage of that class. Originally, the class was sold out and there was a wait list, but somebody dropped out and I was able to grab their spot. And on Wednesday, I ended up taking the class, which was fun. So I'm gonna run through some of the things, like tell you guys some of the things we did in class, and then maybe describe a little bit about them. So, like such as my feelings and different things like that. So, in class, so we did four things in class. So one thing we did in class was that we always do our warm up. Always, 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 no matter what pole class I'm in, we always do a warm up first. So we do that for like 10 to 15 minutes. Now, after that, the first thing we worked on in class was we did our step around. So that's going to be one of the moves I'm very much familiar with and things. And I did post a short of myself doing a step around for you guys to see on my YouTube channel, Butterfly Spirit 314. And then after that, we ended up doing, I believe this is called a I may have heard it wrong, but I thought my teacher said it was a donut spin, but it might be called something else. But I think she said donut. I think she did. But I'll have to double check with her the next time I see her. But yeah, I think that's what it's called, the donut spin. So we did that. After that, we practiced doing what's called a pole sit. So when we do a pole sit, I'll kind of get more into that. But that's where we're basically either we are sitting on the pole very low off the ground, or either we are sitting up on the pole, higher up on the pole. Like basically, either we're lower sitting on the pole or we're higher up sitting on the pole. So I did post a video of myself doing a pole sit on my channel as well. And then we did practice climbing as well. So the donut spin, I think I posted a short of myself doing that on my YouTube channel, Butterfly Spirit 314 as well. So I have like 3 shorts and stuff. I didn't get any videos of myself doing any kind of climbing or any of that. So I'm going to go a little bit in detail about each of the things that we did in class. So starting with the step around. So the step around, some people call this move a around the world, but in at the couple of studios I've been to, they call it a step around. Some people also call it a dip spin. I think it really just depends on what people like to call it. And depending on the place that, I'm taking a class at, they may have a little flair and things. Now on YouTube, I did learn how to do a dip spin, which I feel like is a little different than a step around, but I think people kind of lump it into the same kind of like category and stuff. So a step around is essentially stepping around the pole. That's pretty much what it looks like. When I do a step around, I think that I feel kind of awkward doing a step around personally because I don't feel like I'm doing it great. But the teachers that I've had say, "Oh, your step around is beautiful." I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you." But I still feel like pretty awkward about doing a step around. I really feel like it is. But people tell me I'm really great at it. So yeah, I guess I am. So next we'll talk about the next thing, the donut spin. So the donut spin in particular, I had the hardest time trying to figure out how to do this because I'm doing the same like kind of movements as the step around with my arms and my legs. But the thing is that the issue is that one of my legs has to hook around the pole and it's my inside leg. And I had the hardest time kind of processing that and stuff. And so I went from something I'm very familiar with to something I didn't understand. And it literally took me literally about like maybe 5 or 10 minutes to kind of understand how to do this move and how to figure it out. And so there was a lot of thinking involved for me and stuff. And I was like second guessing myself when I was doing it. Ultimately, I was able to learn to do it by watching other people do it. And that's how I learned moves with pole, is watching other people do it. If I can't understand it, I look at other people and watch them do it, like other students in class. And I watch the teacher do it and stuff. And eventually I'll kind of get it, you know. But I think it's the second guessing myself, which kind of got to me. But I did post a video of myself doing it, and I think I did pretty well. It was my first few times doing it, and I still feel like I still think that's something I'd want to work on. But even though I learned to do it, I still want to like practice it. But yeah, I think it was okay in my opinion, but I don't think it's ground or perfect or anything like that. Hang on one moment. Okay, great. I had to get my cookies out of the oven. I did not want them to burn while I was doing this live. So we talked about the step around. We talked about the donut spin. So we talked about that. The step around, I guess it could be considered a, well, I don't know if I would consider it a spin. It looks pretty grand, like a spin in a way, I guess. So let's see. Let me move on to the next thing we worked on. So the next thing we worked on was the pole sit. Oh my gosh. So I did post a video of myself doing a pole sit in class. I've done a pole sit before. I will say this about a pole sit. So if you guys watch my short of me doing a pole sit, in the first part of that video, like of that short, I'm starting off doing a pole sit like lower down close to the ground on the pole because that's what our teacher was saying to do. So like start off by doing that. So doing that on the ground I think was good, you know, at first. Now I will say this about a pole sit. Whether I'm like low to the ground doing a pole sit or I'm higher up on the pole doing a pole sit, it hurts to do a pole sit. And I don't know if you guys heard my teacher in a video, but she said my teacher was telling me to, you know, smile through the pain. Yeah, because a pole sit, it hurts to do. It does hurt. And the thing about doing a pole sit is that that's one of the reasons. I mean, I'm able to like stay in a sit for a little bit, but it's painful as hell to do a pole sit. It's very painful to do it. I think lower on the ground, it still hurts to do. Higher up on the pole, when I'm doing a pole sit, I think one of the things is that it's the pole and it is like inside, like basically in the more like thigh region and stuff. And really, when somebody's doing a pole sit, they're getting up close and personal with a pole in a big, big way, a big way. And I think the thing too is that it's understanding that there is a pole And it's also the fact that with a pole sit, I think the legs are doing a lot more work essentially. The legs are doing more holding like me up than I would say my arms are, okay, and stuff. I will say after I left the class, like after I like the class was over and I was like going to give me some food, when I was walking after doing the pole sit, like after class, the pole sit was the thing that my body realized that it did because there was pain, but like there was pain literally between my thighs because that's how tight I was holding on with my legs to the pole. Okay. So that was the thing. Another thing I will say too, is that in a pole sit, we are sitting, like you might guys may be like, well, why are you sitting like, well, where you're sitting kind of diagonal, where like you're like leaning, sitting to the side, you know, like diagonal, like that. Like, why are you sitting like that? Well, the point is the reason why I'm sitting diagonally on the pole is because one hip, so one side of my body is going to be higher than the other, okay, and that's just a part of doing the move. But um something people don't really talk about is that with certain moves like a pole sit, it is about training the body to not recognize the pain of doing a move like that. And so for some people, they may get bruising between their thighs and stuff when they're doing a pole sit. But the thing is, the more somebody practices doing a move like that, the more they get used to doing it and their body doesn't react as much to the pain. Okay. But I will say, although I was able to hold it, I said in the YouTube short, I was like, this is going to take some getting used to. And it is because I've done a pole sit before, but the thing is, it is about holding that move and not just like trying to jump out of it because of the pain between the thighs. Okay. And stuff. And smiling, I think if you smile and you let people know, like, you know, you're having a good time, you may not be, but you're, you know, you want people to be amazed and happy that you're doing it, you know, yeah, pole can be painful. Um, it can be. And I'm at the beginning of the journey. There's some other stuff that I'm gonna be learning how to do, which is probably gonna be more painful. But going into pole, yes, there can be pain involved in pole. Sorry to bust some people's bubbles out there for people who don't know, but yes, it can be painful. And it is something that takes some getting used to, but the body eventually learns how to adjust to the pain and stuff. For me, I think I eventually will because I'm going to be progressing through the levels. But yeah, that's not going to be the last time I do a pole sit. I'll be doing a lot more, depending on the class and stuff too. So that's a thing. Now, we also, fourth thing we worked on in class is we worked on climbing. I didn't do a YouTube short of me climbing because I'm still learning how to climb. And the thing is that some people climb like this, like they instantly land it. Me, I've practiced climbing uh, several times and I'm getting better though. I will say that. Um, what I will say is that I think climbing for me is something like it's about me recognizing that it's not about me climbing using like my biceps. Like it's not about me using my biceps or whatever. It's about using my lats on my back to help me to climb up. And also my teacher was telling me it's also about the knee strength as well too. And because I need to have that knee strength and more lat strength in my back, what I am planning to do is join a pole boot camp session. So it's going to be like a class where basically we train to build strength for pole, so we can do things easy like climbing and other stuff. And so I do plan to take advantage of that. normally they have that class today, on Friday, but unfortunately I couldn't do it because I was getting my beautiful hair done. So I was not able to take advantage of that session today. But they do offer the boot camp. They do offer it on Mondays and Fridays. So I am going to be jumping in because I do want to build more strength specifically towards pole. And I definitely want to be able to do that as well. And I also want to be able to gain flexibility and stuff too. So I think once I get into that class and stuff, I'll be able to do more, the more strength I build. Whew. So I am going to be getting into the pole boot camp eventually and things like that. So eventually I'll get there. Maybe next Monday. I was kind of thinking about doing it next Monday, maybe, and stuff. But climbing, I'm not there yet. But here's the thing. I don't specifically have to be ready to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, depending on their climbing journey, some people learn how to do it right away. Some people don't. It's just an adjustment. And there are some people in level 2 of pole that are still working on climbing. But I think I'm glad I have the opportunity to work on climbing because that's something I've been wanting to do is to learn to climb the pole. And so I'm going to definitely get there at some point. And I think it's going to be easy and effortless at some point for me. So I think I'll definitely get there. So those are all 4 things we worked on: the step around, the donut spin, the pole sit. And then we finished everything off by climbing. We did not do a freestyle, so we didn't get a chance to do that. I will end up doing that in my next pole class that I have. So now we're going to talk about my plans that I have going forward with pole. All right, so what are my plans? So this Sunday, I have a pole class that I'm going to be taking advantage of. So that's going to be my 7th pole dance class. This past Wednesday, it was my 6th pole dance class. So on Sunday, it'll be my 7th pole dance class. And then next Wednesday, I have another introduction to pole class. So that's going to be my 8th class. When I'm at my 8th class, I want to make sure, but I think we only have to take 8 classes in order to graduate to level 1. But I just want to double check with my teacher on that date just to make sure. Because if they say, hey, this is your graduation day, after today, you can move on to level 1 or whatever, then I am going to. So also, I have booked myself for the level 1 classes. So I have myself booked for 2 level 1 classes in November. I am on the wait list for some beginner level 1 classes because right now they are all booked up, unfortunately, but I am on the wait list. So if an opening comes up, then I will definitely take advantage of it and things. So that's what I'm looking forward to. If I cannot get into those until November, that's fine. They do have some other level 1 classes that I can take advantage of as well. So they have like a spin pole class that they have for level 1 through 2. And then they also have another class as well that will allow me to like build on to the moves that I've been working on and stuff like that too. I'm so tired. But they have options. They don't have that specific, may not have that specific class in November, but that's okay. There's still other things I can do. Let's see, what else do I got going on? So I got 2 upcoming intro to pole classes. And let's see. And then after that, I'm scheduled for the beginner level 1 classes in November and stuff, but I'm on a wait list, so hopefully something comes available sooner. And then I found out about this. So I was on the website for the academy where I'm taking classes at right now. And they are offering floor work classes. So introduction to floor work. I'm very excited because I really want to work on my floor work. I have done a bit of floor work in my chair dancing classes. I've done some floor work in my introduction to heels classes that I've attended. However, I am highly interested in doing the intro to floor work classes. So much so that I booked myself into 2 classes. So I am already in set for that. My first intro to floor work class is going to be, I think it's on October 9th. And then the second one is on I believe it's the 16th. So I'm really excited. I might continue to have more of those classes. We'll see, but I'm really excited about it. Floor work is essential when it comes to pole. You know, when you get down to the floor, you got to be able to do something sexy. So I want to keep working on that. I feel like that's an area I need to grow in. Definitely, definitely. But that's pretty much what I got going on. 2 intro to pole classes that I got coming up. One of them being tomorrow. And then I got the beginner level 1 classes in November, right? And then this month I get to take advantage of the intro to floor work. So I'm excited about that. So that's what I got going on right now, guys. But I'm glad I was able to share with you guys my experience for my class. I don't normally like go right into detail and normally like ramble and all that, but that stuff. But I'm glad I was able to share this with you guys, just so you guys can know more about my journey and everything. So, and what I got coming up, and we will see how it goes. I kind of want to take more than 2 floor classes, but we'll see. All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video whenever you happen to. I really appreciate you all. Bye for now.